Good morning and welcome to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Community Comment is presented by Professional Floor Covering, your store for floors and so much more. They've got so much to offer. Of course, they've got floors galore over there, whether you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, LVP, tile, stone, and area rugs. They've got you covered there, of course. And when we talk about that LVP, they've got that phenomenal new lineup of CoreTech LVP flooring, which has been super, super popular. And, your kitchen cabinets, they should do more than look good. They should last for a lot of years for you. And Professional Floor Covering at Abbey Design Center in Beaver Dam partners with top cabinetry brands to offer quality craftsmanship and style when it comes to your kitchen cabinets. Whether it's a traditional look, a more modern look, or anywhere in between, Randy and his team can help inspire and create the kitchen you have been dreaming about. Stop into Professional Floor Covering at 713 Park Avenue, and I'll tell you what, with a week like this, with how hot it is, we've been spending a lot of time inside, and the last thing you want to do is be looking at stuck inside looking at ugly kitchen cabinets. So stop in today at 713 Park Avenue in Beaver Dam, or visit them online at proflr.com. Kale Zomer filling in for Justin Wilski today here on Community Comment. Jeff Hall helping us out up in the WBEV studios, pushing all the buttons. Appreciate his help today. And this morning on the program, we get to sit down for our monthly visit with the good folks from the Beaver Dam Community Library. We've got Sarah Kernoyer with us. Good morning, Sarah. Thanks for being with us here today.
Good morning. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, and I'm excited to get a chance to sit down and talk with you because obviously, as I think a lot of folks know, there has been a lot going on at the Beaver Dam Community Library. Last time you joined us here back in June, you guys had moved back into the newly renovated library just a few weeks prior, and we're kind of still getting used to it. But how has it been being back into the renovated building?
Absolutely fabulous. We're very happy. The library staff and all of the library patrons, I think, reinforce that. Every visitor, and we've had over 14,000 last month.
Wow.
For June. So many of them are either just giving us that look that says a million words of wow, this space is amazing, or they're expressing it to us, just a lot of appreciation for the work that went into it, how functional the spaces are. Kids are very excited about the play space, and there's room for all the families. We've got a lot of young families coming right now for story time and other activities, so there's room for strollers and siblings and friends, and it's just been marvelous.
Yeah, if people haven't had a chance to stop in yet or see some of the pictures, can you just kind of expand a little bit? You were kind of touching on it there, but expand on some of the things that are updated and some of the new things and some of the changes that you've had through the renovation that you maybe didn't have before.
Sure. Well, first is the new entrance off the parking lot. So people are really appreciating how quick it is to get into the building. The restroom in the lobby area as you enter is great. The technology center being so close at hand, so that's the folks' technology area, and that's just on your right. You're greeted at the welcome desk. I was just talking to a woman this morning who came in, and she mentioned what a great big smile I had. It was her first time in, and she said, look at this. This is just amazing, and, you look so friendly and welcoming. So that is really at the heart of what we're trying to do. And so I would encourage anybody who hasn't been in yet to visit. Some of the new spaces include the study rooms, which are getting a lot of use. We also have a smaller conference room that seats up to 8 that you can reserve or first come, first serve. And then the community room is also now open for public reservations, subject to the meeting room policy. So people can visit or contact the library if they're interested. We have been taking some bookings, and those were a few of the big things.
Sure.
Did I mention the young adults area?
Ooh.
And then It's the first time we've had one, so when
Okay.
we were at the temporary space, it was the used furniture store. It used to be Bassett Furniture, so it had the quirky walls up for
Yeah.
the rooms for the furniture to be placed in. And so we were able to designate one of those for the young adult materials for teens. And we have that, as well as actually a space with some cafe height tables for them to do schoolwork or read, color. We've got some games. There's a small kind of lounge seating. And it's been really gratifying to walk by, and you can see through the doors of the conference room into the young adult area, which is, it gives them some autonomous space, but it's
Sure.
also a visible public space still.
Yeah.
And it's great to walk by and see kids sitting down and reading books. We've got
Yep.
a lot of talk about screens and people going analog again, so that's really gratifying. And the reading room is also a really popular space, lots of natural light. The fireplace will turn on by request right now. I don't
Okay.
know how appealing fire is
Yeah, right.
with
And
how hot it is
I think,
outside.
Sarah, it is going to be like 95, 96 degrees today. So that might not get turned on today, but
That's right.
It'll be nice come the other 7 to 8 months of the year in Wisconsin.
Sure will. And we did get, it's an electric fireplace, so it's well rated for lasting long, having the most affordable replacement parts, longest operating life, but it also has a cool feature, which is heat on or heat off. So if you really wanted that ambience of the fireplace, we can do it without
the heat.
Yeah, but
You mentioned, you talked about how when you guys were in your temporary space up there at the old furniture store, how that kind of allowed you to, for lack of a better word, kind of experiment with that young adult space. And that is one thing that was pretty neat that you guys did with that. It's obviously it's not an easy thing to have to move out of your current building, given how much has to be moved, and then be in a temporary space. You're only going to be there a few months. I'm certain there's certainly communities that probably would just have to close the library for several months while it was done. And it's something, you guys really got a chance to kind of experiment over there with with spaces that you might want to make a more permanent solution in the renovated building, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, it just worked out that they kind of informed each other. The layout of the temporary space had that welcome desk. It had the easiest places to run internet connections, happened to also be right at the front, which I know people coming in to print, an Amazon return label, or they're dropping by on a lunch break to print off some forms and scan them on our free public scanner. That was really handy. Having restrooms available near the children's area, that's also handy. That's something that we have in the library itself. So yeah, some of those things did carry over, and some of those things we intentionally implemented so that it gave us the opportunity to make any tweaks before
Sure.
we were into our permanent space. But yeah.
And I know my kids, I've got little kids, and they finally got to come over for the first time here a week or two ago, and they loved the new little kids play space area. They were big fans of that.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, there is a brand new play kitchen, so that always gets a lot of traction with the kids. There's a train table. We have touch-to-play computers, and I just learned yesterday when I was walking by and saw some brothers playing that it has foosball. So I've seen people playing chess together on it,
Okay.
and it's loaded with a whole bunch of educational games. But these are screens where you can also, it's not on the internet. These are
Okay. Yeah, it's like
touch to play.
preloaded,
It's an
yeah.
educational learning computer, has some creative games as well, but it also has games that an adult and a child could play together, like I saw yesterday. two brothers using to play foosball. But there's an analog version of a mini foosball table in the young adult area too. So
Okay.
lots of options at your
Yeah.
library.
Well, and as we're talking about all these things, I'm really it's intriguing to me, and I'm sure you can comment on this that. I think for so long when we thought of libraries, we just thought of a building that was filled with books and you went and checked out. It's become, libraries have become so much more than that, haven't they?
Yes, absolutely. Sounds like you're keeping current the library. So we do. We have a lot of books still. Large print, people are appreciating how close it is to the entrance. That's the first collection you're going to see when you enter is large print. So not only did we get that entrance closer to the parking lot, but the materials that some of our older aging adults and people with mobility issues, we kind of, I'm starting to gravitate towards bigger print myself. So it's nice to have that in a convenient location and they can ask for help. But we also have video games. We have all kinds of audio. We brought up the audiobooks on CD, which is an older format. We have digital audiobooks as well that you can get 24/7 without visiting the library with your library card. But that's a format that, even though it's older, we have a lot of people who want to use that still. Either their car still has a CD player. It's just less confusing. Everybody knows how you take the disc out, you put the disc in your player, you're good to go. So we have room for those. And then we have all of our adventure passes. We have STEAM kits, wellness kits, and there are free seats still. So I know we're kind of in the midsummer, but if you're planning ahead for anything you want,
Sure.
greens and that type of stuff, you want to plant a fall crop of beets or carrots, there are still free seeds that we have from a donation. So lots and lots of stuff
Yeah.
to discover at the library.
Speaking of seeds, and I know we're up against a break, but very quickly before we get to that, last note about the renovations and the new space. Maybe on a hot day like today, it doesn't seem as appealing, but there is a beautiful little outdoor space there too.
We do. We have a pollinator garden, and the donor benches have arrived. So there are several seating locations near there. There is lots of stuff in bloom right now. Wild bergamot, some of the grasses. The cup plant is coming along. Echinacea, milkweed is kind of spent now in our garden at least. I think we've got some brown-eyed Susans, and I'd have to look at the rest. But yeah, there's a lot of color and interest, and it's just really peaceful. And there's some shady spots and sunny spots. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Talking with Sarah Kernoyer with the Beaver Dam Community Library. Lots more to talk about when we come back. We're going to jump into some of the great programs that are coming up at the library, including a couple that are happening today. So stay tuned for that here on Community Comment. That's next on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
They keep you informed on the Dodge County landscape. We keep the inside of your home looking great. Professional Floor Covering welcomes you to the next segment of Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV. Community Comment is presented by Professional Floor Covering, your store for floors and so much more. We're visiting with Sarah Kernoyer from the Beaver Dam Community Library. Got a chance to talk about all the great new additions and updates during the renovations. And one of the great things that happens at the library long before the renovations took place is, Sarah, you guys have a long history of providing a lot of different programs for different groups in the community. So I want to jump into some of those because you got quite a bit of things coming up, including today. There's not one, but two different programs happening today. Tell us about that, and then we'll jump into some more programs.
Sure. Part of our America 250 celebration, we've had a series of events. Today at 1 until 3 is America's Birthday Party. So that's an all ages, all abilities event. There will be some red, white, and blue cupcakes and some firecracker crafts. Ooh. And some other activities. So I don't have them all listed, but Miss Sam is ready to celebrate America with everybody. And I think all kids love a good birthday party.
Oh, of course, of course. And this is so nice too, right? We just, 4th of July, we just celebrated America's 250. And I had been telling people, I said, hey, really, the 4th of July this year kind of just kicks off the celebration because it's kind of it, right? It just turned 250, so now we kind of get to spend the rest of the year celebrating. So that is a great program. And then after that, tonight, another is, speaking of patriotic programs, you got something else related to that as well.
That's right. We're really happy to have our local historian, Roger Knoll, coming in to do a program on Beaver Dam's 4th of July celebrations through the years. So both of these programs will be taking place in the lower level.
Okay.
The library is a cooling center, so you have to brave the heat to get there, but once you're inside, it's nice and cool, and you're welcome to stay till close at 7 o'clock. Although Roger's program does go until 7:30, so that one starts at 6 o'clock. And there are all kinds of celebrations. These are really popular with the folks who love our local history, people who want to remember some of these things or to talk about it with other people who remember the celebrations over the years. And we've seen a lot of iterations of 4th of July celebrations and different fests. We just had Beaver Fest this past weekend. So I don't know if that one made it into this program, but maybe next year.
But I'm always just amazed at Roger's just unbelievable amount of knowledge of Beaver Dam history. It really is pretty impressive.
It does. And if anybody is interested in studying up on local history or genealogy, that is part of what you'll find in the technology area. So we have our entire local history section there. We have family books published on families that have their genealogy recorded. We have cemetery indexes. We've got old city directories, yearbooks. Some people make good use of those, looking up past classmates or just kind of reminiscing, some nostalgia factor. And then we have various files on different businesses that have opened in town, notable people from our community, which we really have a lot. Local history is really a core feature, and since we've digitized our newspaper microfilm collection, people are also able to access that themselves when the library's closed. Because some people, you don't always want your research to be tied down to Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, Saturday, 9 to 4. So if you've got a subscription, you can access that outside with Ancestry.
Okay.
or Ancestry.com.
Very good. And you've got some more fun stuff coming up this week. In fact, kind of sticking with that, America and history theme. You've got a book club coming up tomorrow. Tell us about that.
Sure. So Anita Strike is the Community and Information Services librarian, and she's got the book club that meets monthly. So tomorrow's book is The Revolutionary Samuel Adam by Stacy Schiff. And so there's a great group of folks. They're always open to having new people come. And the next book for August, it looks like we're taking a little break, but Anita will have more info about that coming out. And you can find all of that from our website on the events calendar at beaverdamlibrary.org. But another really cool one we have coming up on Thursday, so tomorrow, is pint-sized polkas.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Woo-hoo!
I saw pint-sized polkas. I'm very curious about this.
So Mike Schneider is an award-winning polka musician. There was an article on WPR not long ago about him and the heritage of polka in Wisconsin. So I'm a big polka fan. I know not everybody loves it, but there are a lot of people that do, and so this is a kid-friendly program, but the polka is for all ages, and we're all kids at heart. So come on down to the library from 2 to 3 to hear Mike Schneider from Pint Size Polkas.
I know our very own Barn Show host, Jeff Hall, is producing for us here today. I bet he's up there super excited about that right now. So that should be fun. And then you got a couple more things coming up this week on Friday.
Sure do. And I would just like to say, I like when I go to the fair and hear the Barn Show.
Yes.
So that is always awesome. I appreciate that one. Yeah, Friday fun on Friday from 11 to 12. This sunshine is going to be put to use making cyanotype prints.
All right, tell us what these are.
So this is a photosensitive paper, and you can lay out different objects to create patterns or a landscape or a portrait. So Miss Sam will have various, props or pieces. Supplies, let's call it that. Supplies as well as the paper, and I imagine they'll be taking that outside to expose it to sunlight, which will develop the cyanotype paper. And we've got books about that, so you can always come check it out and learn more. That one is also an All Abilities program, so everybody is welcome. We'd like to do a lot of intergenerational programming. And speaking of that, we also have the D&D Club at 4:30 on Friday. And beginners are welcome to come, as well as those who already know how to create a character or participate in a D&D game. We have some volunteer game masters that will lead players through that.
All right, fantastic. That's all just this week. Let's start jumping into next week a little bit and tell us about a couple of things you got coming up next week at the library.
Okay, well, a lot of people have heard about story time.
Yes.
They are very popular, very well attended this year. It's so wonderful to see the kids and families and to hear them singing. So to anybody that's looking for a quiet library, we have study rooms. But Monday mornings during story time are probably not going to be your quiet time, because you're going to hear those joyful noises of kids and their caregivers engaging in early literacy play, singing, talking, using shaker eggs. So story time is at 9:30 on Mondays. And then for those who want a little bit more laid back experience, because we've been having kind of averaging around 50 people at that story time, the afternoon session from 1 to 2 is a little more quieter, laid back. So if you've got children that could appreciate that type of environment over a noisier one in the morning, they're welcome to try that. And story times are active experiences with books and singing and movement. So even if your child doesn't sit still to listen to a story cover to cover, that's just fine. There'll be a lot of things to engage in, and it's just a really great time and a good place to make connections.
All right, very good. Talking with Sarah Kernoyer with the Beaver Dam Community Library. We've got to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some more programs coming up at Beaver Dam Community Library. And of course, we are talking with the library, so we'll talk about a few book recommendations as well. That's all coming up on Community Comment here on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge, presented by Professional Floor Covering.
And welcome back to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Community Comment is presented by Professional Floor Covering, your store for floors and so much more. Kale Zomer filling in for Justin Wilski. Today we're joined by Sarah Kernoyer with the Beaver Dam Community Libraries. Before the break, we were talking about some of the fun programs and events coming up here this week and starting in the next week. And there are so many things coming up at the library. We'd love to talk about every single one. We simply don't have time, but we wanted to make sure we still highlight a few more coming up here in July and August. And one of the first ones I want to touch on is late next week, and that is Miss Kim's Amazing Animals. Tell us about this.
Ooh, real crowd pleaser. Ms. Kim and her Amazing Animals have been to the library quite a few times, and so popular, we have two sessions planned for Thursday, the 23rd, one at 10 a.m. and one at 2 p.m. Ms. Kim not only does fun facts about the animals, so you learn things, but she also includes time to get up close personal, observe them, interact with them, and ask questions about them. So some of the animals she's brought in the past have been chinchillas.
Ooh.
Super soft, highly recommend touching them if you're comfortable with that. A funny bunny, she does some good stuff with that. Tortoise. Pythons, so we've got the reptiles, we've got the mammals. She doesn't often bring birds. That could be a surprise. Sometimes she's had a tarantula. And one of my favorites, if they, and I'm not sure if this is planned, but the hermit crab races. You wouldn't think hermit crabs racing would be that exciting, but oh my goodness, does the crowd go wild and cheer on these hermit crabs, and it's a really good time. So I encourage everybody to consider coming to the library next Thursday at either 10 or 2 p.m. to engage with Ms. Kim and her Amazing Animals.
Yeah, so we have some friends whose kiddos were at the last one, and they were just raving about how awesome, and we're not going to miss the next one because it was great. So that is next Thursday, July 23rd, as you mentioned, two opportunities at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then the next day, you've got some Friday fun going on. Tell us about this.
So the Friday funs alternate between a movie and a creative or process or product art. So Friday, July 24th, it's a movie, and there is a wizard, there is a cat, and there are a whole bunch of little blue Smurfs that will be running around. So from 11 to 12:30, there is popcorn served with that, and that one is just a really low-key program, but great way to get inside and enjoy some cool air.
Yeah, I love that too. It's kind of in the middle of the day because a lot of times you got to wait till the night to go see the movie. But that's great because then you can go take in a movie during the day, be in the nice air conditioning, and then you still got your night free to do to whatever you want. So that is Friday, July 24th, starting at 11 a.m. And then I want to jump ahead to the next week, that last week in July, and tell us a little bit about the Teen Zone event that's going to be going on.
Sure. So Teen Zone will be a movie too. 5 Nights at Freddy's, supernatural pizza parlor with a lot of characters. And so that is intended for teens and tweens, 12 to 17. There are snacks served at the movies. And Miss Sam would love to have a great turnout. So if you've got young people in your lives and you want to send them, that would be super. I was just scanning to see if we had another Teen Zone. They just did one yesterday where they made beaded plants.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are art projects as well. And she shakes it up and provides a little something for different interests and is always open to hearing the teens who come and what they're interested in or asking for as far as programs go.
All right, very good. And then later in the week that week, on Thursday, a little bingo. Who doesn't love a little bingo?
I think everybody loves the bingo. I mean, well, maybe not every single person, but very popular. Library bingo is free. You can join for free rounds. It starts at 2 o'clock until 3 o'clock. Miss Sam usually has some fun prizes to choose from. Keep in mind, this is a free program, so there are no cash prizes. You don't have to buy a ticket. It's just get your card and have a good time. It's a great way for families of all ages and individuals to just come and have a nice afternoon activity at the library.
Phenomenal. And again, that's Thursday, July 30th, starting at 2 p.m. And then jumping into August, the library is going to be a part of a really great event there at the beginning of August on August 4th. Tell us about that.
Well, we look forward to National Night Out every year, and I really have to say that our Beaver Dam Police Department and Fire Department have a presence there, as well as our DPW, Public Works. So if you haven't been yet, I encourage you to come, especially if you're a fan of police officers, firefighters and EMTs, and big trucks. So I always enjoy that part. The Dodge County Sheriffs are often there, as well as a lot of other community service organizations. Oftentimes the library is next to the Camo Group, Kids and Mentors outside.
Yep.
So I always like seeing what they're doing because they come up with great project or like a great game that the kids like. And they actually, I was at a conference last week, Play, Make, Learn, and we had to, my table had to do an activity where we created a game out of just kind of random pieces of stuff. And one of the people at our table spotted a pool noodle in the pile. And I was inspired by a game Camo had 2 years ago where they had like a fishing pole game, and you hooked up a paper bag, and inside the paper bag was a surprise.
Okay.
And so my table crafted it. We had to use some duct tape and yarn and all sorts of pom-poms, and we made our own fishing game inspired by Camo. But it's always a great time to come out and see what all of the various organizations that serve our community or have things to offer have out. And so it's just a great event, and the library is really happy to be a part of that.
Fantastic. And again, that is happening Tuesday, August 4th. I want to say the event itself runs 5 to 8, 4 to 8 maybe. And so out at Swan Park in Beaver Dam, a great event to check out. And everything we've been talking about here, this is really just kind of a sampling of all the different programs and events you have at the library. I mean, there's lots of story times, there's craft workshops, there's a Pokemon club, a whole lot of other things. If people want to check out all the other programs and events that we didn't get a chance to talk about here, where can they find the information on that?
They can visit the library and pick up one of our summer newsletters, or online. There's two options. You can go to beaverdamlibrary.org and click on events on the button, or if you have the Monarch to Go app on your phone, one of the menu items right there on the home page is events, and it'll take you right into the events calendar so you can scan it. You can even add your email address for a reminder. It doesn't offer text ones yet.
Okay.
Hopefully
Eventually.
that'll be something we'll suggest to the developers of the
Sure.
app. But currently you can get an email reminder,
Okay.
so that's helpful.
Super. That sounds great. Talking with Sarah Kernoyer with the Beaver Dam Community Library. And it is the library at its core. You're all about the books, and we got to talk a little bit about books while you're here. And I know you've got a couple of book recommendations. You brought a book with you. What book you got there?
Okay, so this book is called Endlessly Ever After, Pick Your Path to Countless Fairy Tale Endings. So it's by Laurel Snyder and illustrated by Dan Santat. And this is one I just learned about last week. It was published a couple of years ago, but it's a choose your own adventure picture book.
Oh, I love that.
So we were familiar, at least that was one of the series that I read as a kind of an expanding reader in elementary school. A lot of choose your own adventures. I liked it because you could get a different ending every time. If you didn't like it, you just went back and started over with new choices. So Endlessly Ever After follows Little Red Riding Hood as she tries to get to Grandma's house, and she encounters a lot of different options for what she could do as she goes. So there are all kinds of great books that we share with children, and you can find those. The library staff is always happy to make recommendations, and if you like to do your own research, then you could use Novelist, and that's available on our website as well. There is a K-8 version if you're looking for the young people in your life or yourself, and then it also has a full version that covers fiction and nonfiction. You can search by appeal terms like dialogue-driven, fast-paced, thriller, mystery. I forget. I don't have them all in my head, but Novelist is a really robust tool. You can find if there's an author you love, you can put their name into the search bar and get read-alikes for authors who write like the author. I know for a long time I was helping a patron find books that were set in small towns and talked about kindness. There are historical novels. So yeah, there are just a whole ton of things that either we can help you find or you can explore on your own.
And speaking of books, one of the things you have there, which I love, is the Awesome Display. Talk about the Awesome Display.
Well, this one is an interactive one. So library staff, we're all readers, and whether we're reading with our eyes or with our ears using audiobooks or in graphic novel format, everybody who works at the library enjoys reading, and so do a lot of our patrons. So the Awesome Display is one where if you've just finished something awesome, and it's not limited to just books, maybe it's a movie, you can get a card as you're returning it that you insert in the item, and then the staff goes, this one is flagged as an awesome book. Somebody really enjoyed this, or this movie, or this audiobook, and they will put it on the Awesome Display. So we keep a list, and you can find that on the library catalog. So if you want to place a hold or see what's been awesome, it's updated every 6 months. So there's usually kind of the fall version and the spring version, and we just keep adding to it. Right now, one of the books on display is called Our Favorite Day of the Year. And it's a children's picture book about a classroom of kids who are sharing their favorite holidays. The little Post-it note on this one says it includes Pie Day. So if you're a pie fan, there's one that shares that holiday. There is a book titled We Are Definitely Human, a book by X Fang, and it's got some aliens on the cover. Brian Bilston is a poet, and he has a book called Alexa, What Is There to Know About Love? And my photo is not letting me... Oh, it says Poetry That Actually Makes Sense. So he writes some realistic stuff. If you aren't a poetry person because you think I can't get into that, maybe give Brian Bilston a try. He's very readable. Literal wordplay, but it's not a sonnet. If you were there. For a nonfiction, there is Strata, Stories from Deep Time by Laura Popick. And that one talks about geology and the strata of the Earth. So there are some fun ones. Also on there is Between Shades of Gray by Ruta Sepetys. And I'm goofing up that last name, but I'll give it my best. Sepetys.
Okay.
And this is not the other Gray novel. This one is a historical fiction for young adults about during the Soviet era and the Baltic states. So Lithuanians who were sent to a concentration camp in Siberia. This was one of my picks. It was a book I really enjoyed. Ruta has written a number of historical fiction. Young adult fiction is great for adults who also want to read about some tough topics, but maybe not as explicitly as might be in an adult fiction, work of fiction for the general audience. So this is a tale of survival, of persistence and perseverance in history. So,
all right, very
yeah.
good. Sounds like some great recommendations there. We've got to step aside one more time. When we come back, we'll start to wrap things up here with Sarah Kernoyer from the Beaver Dam Community Library. We're going to touch on a great new addition to the community that the library was involved in. That's next here on Community Comment from 95.3 WBEV.
Providing this community beautiful floors and so much more, the team at Professional Floor Covering can't wait to connect with our friends through today's community comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Community Comment is presented by Professional Floor Covering. We've got Sarah Kernoyer with the Beaver Dam Community Library with us here as we start to wind things down on the program. And the last thing we want to talk about with you today, Sarah, is a really neat new addition to the community that's not at the library, but the library was involved. It's the Storybook Trail. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so we're really excited to be part of this new amenity at the Hicks Overlook at Edgewater Park. So the Storybook Trail is a quarter-mile grassy loop trail that is an outdoor engagement, and you read a book on your walk. So there are stations with the pages of the books. They have activities, things to do, maybe not while it's this hot, but things like hop to the next page.
Okay.
And so it promotes early literacy, it promotes physical activity, and it provides families and others with a shared outdoor screen-free activity. So we were really happy to partner with the Parks Department of Beaver Dam, as well as Chelsea Deaton and Jen Hiley, who were members of Leadership Beaver Dam.
Yeah.
And this was their project. They had a vision for an outdoor activity with Storybook Trail. They'd heard of it. We at the library had always had a hope to be able to do a project like this. We have resources from our system for kits we can check out. So right now, Mother Bruce is the book on display, and there is a shelter with shade, picnic tables, a portable restroom, and it is a dog-friendly environment. So we encourage people to head on out and check out that Storybook Trail and let us know what you think.
Yeah, that is so fun, again, out there by Edgewater Park. And, what a great way to get the kids outside, because maybe normally just on a hiking trail, maybe they're, I'm bored. And now you kind of get to be interactive on the trail. So that's really fun. Again, one last time before we get out of here, if anybody wants to learn anything more about what's going on at the library, remind folks where they can find that information.
Sure, you can visit us at 311 North Spring Street. Go online at beaverdamlibrary.org, or check out the Monarch To Go app that you can download from your app store.
And make sure to follow the Beaver Dam Community Library on Facebook as well, too, because you got a lot of updates there, I know. So
We sure do.
Make sure you do that. Sarah, great to see you. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Kale. Glad to be here.
That is Sarah Kernoyer with the Beaver Dam Community Library. That is going to do it for today's Community Comment here on 95.3 WBEV. We'll see you out at Mayville Tire for the brat fry.